Molina? Shefflow?
Molina's present. Sorry, I didn't hear the beginning of the meeting.
Thomas?
Here.
Wegman? Igbal? Weber?
Weber present.
Ms. Shefflow's here. I'm getting some kind of starting and stopping on the Zoom.
Igbal?
Iqbal is here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Barrino? Barrero?
Okay, we have a quorum. Can I please get a motion for approval of the minutes from July 12th as well as July 17th?
So moved. Iqbal
Ball
moves.
moves, seconded by
Molina seconds.
Molina seconds. Thank you. Can I have a roll call vote for that as well?
Barrero? Molina?
Molina, yes.
Shefflow?
Shefflow, yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Wegman?
Yes.
Igbal?
Iqbal, yes.
Weber?
Weber, yes. All right, at this time, I'd like to ask Maria Gonzalez to go over the OCR financials.
Good morning. This is Scott Berger. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Maria and I are both on the line. We're joining you via technology. We just want to report to you that in your packet, Maria has provided you with the usual battery of reports that we generate on a monthly basis. I just want to hit a few highlights and then provide you with some detail explanation regarding our new award of funding. So the first report you have details the status of our 2019 Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Award. You'll notice at the bottom of that page, Maria has reported to you our obligation figures as well as our direct training benchmark figures. Due to COVID-19, which basically affected the last quarter of our program year, we did fall short of reaching the benchmarks that we've talked to you about before, the obligation benchmarks, the direct training benchmarks. In essence, a large part of our customer base was adversely affected by the pandemic. And we're not able to attend training. Many of our training providers literally shut down at the end of the year. So that had a direct effect on our ability to deliver services to the public. So we're in communication with the state of Illinois right now to confirm what that means and how we should respond to that. The next report in your packet details our 2020 award. And I just want to give you a little bit of, if you want to scroll forward, Blair. A little too far. Okay, so is there a 2020 award in the report packet, Maria? Maria, are you on the phone? Okay, so I just want to call your attention to the fact that we did just start our 2020 program year on July 1. We provided you in the email that I sent a little while ago, we provided you with a 10-year funding history. That's the WIOA funding history dated 8/14/2020. It goes back to program year 2011 and kind of recounts for you the annual allocations of WIOA funds that we've received over the last decade. You'll notice that for 2020, our area is expected to receive a 25% increase in funding. So that's a sizable increase. And I just wanted to explain to you a little bit why we're seeing that increase. You'll recall that our WIOA award is actually a bundle of 3 separate funding streams. It includes our adult program, our dislocated worker program, and then finally our youth program. All 3 are seeing an increase in funding, and that is basically a reflection of the need in our community as it relates to the state as a whole. So you'll recall the state uses a formula that incorporates various data elements to arrive at the allocations for each local workforce area. In the case of adult and youth funding streams, those are heavily affected by 2 factors. 1, unemployment figures, and number 2, poverty rates. So comparing 2020 to 2019, our poverty figures were virtually level, unchanged, but our area's relative share of the state's unemployed population did increase substantially. So that reflected and that resulted in a net increase to our allocations. Under the dislocated worker column, that funding stream relies on data from the long-term unemployed rate, the insured unemployed population figures, and also the number of declining industries in our geographic area. So in comparing 2020 to 2019, we did see a very slight decline in the long-term unemployed figure for our 3-county area. The number of insured unemployed individuals did decline by about 30%. So that is a negative factor since those individuals do not have unemployment benefits and they are residents of our 3-county area. And then finally, the number of declining industries in our 3-county area did increase by approximately 45%. So among the many sectors that were where we saw a decline, there were 4 where the state saw notable declines. 1, machinery manufacturing. Number 2, administrative and support services. Number 3, electrical equipment, appliance, and component manufacturing. And then finally, and this is generally true throughout the country, general merchandise stores also saw a decline. So if you look at the bottom of the page that we sent you, you will see that our area was not alone. We've provided you with a funding comparison of our workforce area along with the other counties in the Northeast region of Illinois. We're all part of the Northeast region for economic development purposes. You'll notice that funding increases occurred in Grundy, Livingston, and Kankakee counties. There's a very sizable increase in Lake County and also McHenry County. You'll see a figure for them as well. So that gives you an idea of how we compare with the other counties in the Northeast region of Illinois. Are there any questions?
Scott, in regards to the 19 grant that we're missing our targets by, are you seeing the same thing with other regions, like comparable numbers that they're missing their targets as well?
I believe so. We've been in communication with the other workforce areas in Northeast Illinois, and everybody experienced a kind of shutdown approach. Our local job center is still closed to the public. All offices for the Illinois Department of Employment Security remain closed to the public. And so, naturally that resulted in a decline in traffic.
Sure. Do you know if we were able to steer any of our, students and people that are looking for employment towards any of the contact tracing that we've hired people for?
No, I'm not aware of any interaction with the contract tracing project.
Okay. Do we have any other questions for Workforce Development Division?
This is Ms. Thomas. I have a question.
Go ahead, Ms. Thomas.
Also, my question is also related to the 2019 WIOA budget and benchmark. You said you're waiting to hear from the state, but if there are allowances which I would expect there would be, wouldn't that come from the Department of Labor, not the state? How does that work?
Well, actually, there may be some guidance that comes from the U.S. Department of Labor, but keep in mind all WIOA funding comes through the State Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. So generally speaking, we take our cues and guidance from DCEO.
Okay.
Is
So,
that what it is?
and also piggybacking on Mr. Weber's question about the contact tracing, down the line, once the effort really gets up and running, will there be some reporting or just, just to make your office aware of number of, Kane County residents employed, or will that just simply come, I guess, through the health department's kind of monthly reports to the board?
I would expect you'll hear about that from the health department. We're happy to contribute or be involved in any way that is helpful, but the health department is leading that charge.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Do we have?
And then, excuse me, before I surrender the mic completely, I do want to draw your attention to a couple additional handouts that we did provide via email about 30 minutes ago. We are currently in the second week of enrollment for the Illinois Department of the Illinois Housing Development Authority's Emergency Rental Assistance Program. Many of you may be aware of this already, but we wanted to take this opportunity to share with you that renters that have been adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, perhaps lost their employment or seen their hours reduced, that may have missed a rent payment or two, can access up to $5,000 in emergency rental assistance from the Illinois Department of Housing, the Illinois Housing Development Agency. Beginning next week, they are going to also launch their emergency mortgage assistance program as well. So we provided you handouts on those projects, those programs, and would ask you to please pass that information along to any of your constituents that might benefit. Thank you.
Will that go on to Kane County Connects, or can someone access that through dialing, I believe it's 211, our phone number we have for assistance?
So I believe there's already been an article in the Kane County Connected newsletter about this, and I believe you'll find web links on our website to the Illinois Housing Development Authority's page with more information.
Scott, is there a special application that someone has to do to get that, or is there already a path that we have determined on how to handle that?
So there are two agencies in Kane County that are available to help people apply for this program. The applications are all filed online through a portal that IDA has. And if you scroll down on the rental assistance handout that we provided, you'll find that there are two agencies in Kane County that are ready to help renters and homeowners apply for that program. One is in Aurora. It's called the Neighbor Project, formerly known as Joseph Corporation. And then in Elgin, there's an agency known as Consumer Credit Counseling Services. Both of those agencies are available by phone or remotely to assist renters and homeowners in applying for assistance. So we would encourage folks to reach out to those agencies if they need help.
Okay, I just want to make sure this wasn't something in addition to some of your other responsibilities that now you have to worry about, because I do know that I believe there's still like 2 openings in your department, so I want to make sure that you guys aren't being stressed out too much.
Yeah, no, right now we're just trying to raise awareness of this resource. We don't have any direct involvement in the mortgage and rent assistance. We're just trying to raise awareness.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any more questions for workforce development? Chairman Lawson, go ahead.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Weber. Several questions. First one is on the regarding the financials. On the Kane County website, there are 4 job openings in OCR, Business Services Representative, career specialist, special programs representative, and a projects manager. Are those all still open?
3 of the 4 are still open, yes.
Okay, and which are those 3?
The 3 that involve workforce development, the project manager position has been filled. So
Okay,
we'll be happy to update the website and make sure that's reflected there. But we are still taking applications for those open positions and happy to review any applicants' qualifications.
okay. The 3 previous, the business service representative, the career specialist, and the special programs representative, those were posted, let's see, the first 2 were more than a year ago, in October 5th of 2019, and then about 10 months ago, in December 6th of 2019. Is there a particular difficulty in getting those positions filled?
I'm not sure how to comment on your question. We're reviewing applications as they come in, looking for folks that have experience in this area. And it is rather difficult to find those individuals right now, but we continue to look.
Okay. Just to note that those have been open for a year. The second is on WIB. The last quarterly WIB meeting, Workforce Investment Board, where we have 40 volunteer board members, and it's spread among 3 counties. Let's see, the last meeting that we had, the standard has been quarterly meetings. The last meeting that we had was in May 29th of 2019. So it was about a year and a quarter ago. So where there would have been 5 meetings, from the information that I have, there have been 0 meetings. I know that we have the coronavirus came up in March of this year, about maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago. But we've been having our county board meetings with 24 members, remote Zoom possibilities. First of all, is that information accurate? That the last meeting that we had of our 3 county Workforce Investment Board was May 29th, 2019, full board meeting?
Yes, I believe that is accurate. We've been working with the executive committee of the Workforce Board. The state of Illinois encouraged us to adopt in our bylaws a provision allowing the executive committee of the Workforce Board to act on the board's behalf. And according to the state's guidance, we've been working with the executive committee to take care of all the workforce development business. And that's what we've been doing for the last many months.
Let's see, why do we have the board for the last year and a quarter, and especially during a time of such shocking high unemployment, and that's workforce development? Why do we have the other members, the other perhaps 32 members of the WIB board?
I'm not sure how to answer your question, Mr. Chairman. We do have a workforce board that represents a broad sector of the business community. It's developed with an executive committee that is taking care of the business of the workforce board right now. It's been difficult to function in the face of the pandemic. And if you have any other questions, please send them on to me. I'd be happy to answer them.
Oh, I have done that actually, and that's why I'm here at this meeting. My conclusion on that point would be that I would encourage the chairman, the co-chairman of this committee, and the committee to encourage our staff when it comes to compliance to have the meetings where there are 40 volunteers during what I consider a crisis, certainly an emergency situation, And those meetings, just as our meetings, have been done by remote attendance. Those can be set up even in Zoom capacity. You can have 50 to 100 people on one of those screens at the same time. Roger Fonstock has the ability to help the OCR implement that, but to have the need of 5 meetings, quarterly meetings, and to have 0 up to this point, to me, that's not compliance to standard. The third item that I would like to ask along the financials is that I understand, actually, Mr. Berger, you've told me that there was a resolution that authorized the move of your staff from the 4th floor to lease space in Batavia. I've requested that information. Now the co-chairmen have asked for that information, that resolution, a copy of the resolution. Can you tell us by when we'll receive, or the co-chairman will receive a copy of that resolution?
I will ask the clerk to send you a certified copy of the resolution the board passed in 2018. I don't have a copy of it handy, but we did seek board approval for a lease to consolidate our offices in our current facility in Batavia.
Okay, and then I would ask, have you brought to the attention of this committee anytime since, I think you mentioned 2018, that move was going to take place? Have you discussed it in these meetings?
I believe there have been moments where we've made reference to it, yes.
Okay. My final thought is on the item of having a King County assistant director, a second in command, a county manager who works for King County at over $105,000. I believe that the figure may be, well, let's call it 105. I know that that's not an exaggeration on the financials. No, actually, it's $123,000. $123,000 per year paid by King County taxpayers, and to have that person working from Minnesota. My question is, when did you inform either the co-chairman or myself that you were going to put that unusual policy into place, or that treatment of one of our employees into
Point of
place?
order, Mr. Chairman, Chairman Weber. I don't think this is germane to anything on the agenda.
This is a question that I have, and it's up to the chairman, the co-chairman, if they would like to have an answer to, was anybody informed?
Mr. Berger, I think it's a fair question that you could definitely answer.
Well, I'll respectively decline to discuss personnel issues in open session, but I would be happy to answer anybody's questions offline if there are questions about that. I have approved a remote work assignment for one of my employees, and in fact, many of our staff are working remotely right now. So I'd be happy to talk with any member of the committee about that offline.
Okay, I would ask then the co-chairman if they would have when we get to executive session on the agenda today, to open it up for the conversation that Mr. Berger just mentioned. So
That's fine.
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No problem. Is there any other questions for workforce development? All right, moving right along. We have the Jobs Committee priorities. We're going to have some staff updates. I believe Chris or Mark are going to update us.
Sure, good morning. Chris Toth has some more specific updates, but I just want to generally mention that prior to the COVID-19 emergency, when the economy was humming along, we had staff from our planning team working primarily with the Agriculture Committee on agricultural local food issues. We had a planner working specifically with the Energy and Environmental Committee on the fabulous Fox Water Trail. We have a person on our team who part-time who works with our historic preservation program. And then Chris, as you know, working with this committee on jobs. Well, with the crisis that came, we had a flood of information to get out to our businesses and people seeking jobs. Chris Toth has been kind of our point person and working with the rest of our team to get that information out to our farmers and local growers, to get the information out. And working with the health department, so that when things begin to reopen, that we could get the word out and promote our trails, the water trails, the bike trails, to help support our local restaurants and businesses that were open for curbside and outdoor eating during the season. So our team has been working more integrated than ever to share information and get that information out. In the meantime, and some of Chris's reports, maybe we continue to get through the state of Illinois site selection requests and things that we push out to our partners for new opportunities that would be for development or redevelopment of sites and jobs coming into the community. So Chris continues to make sure we get that out to our municipality and other economic development partners. So surprisingly, there's a lot of economic activity kind of going on in the background, and new jobs coming to the county. So we're very thankful for that. And I'll let Chris cover some more specifics of what he's been working on.
Thank you, Mark. Go ahead, Chris.
Thank you. One thing from last month was I wanted to continue to update the committee on the unemployment rate for Kane County. In last month, I reported that June's unemployment rate for Kane County was 15%, but that was adjusted to about 15.2. And I'm proud to say that my prediction from last meeting was accurate. I predicted about 13% unemployment rate for the month of July. It was actually 13.3, which will probably be adjusted a little bit again. But we're keeping a good eye on the numbers of the reports that are coming out for the jobless claims. I believe they were under 1 million, which was again beating expectations, and King County continues to match those trends as well. So I'll continue to report that, and if there's anything else requested by the committee, please let me know. But just great news to see those numbers ticking down, and we're still ahead of the state in terms of our unemployment numbers. So we need to continue to promote that jobs are coming out to King County and people are excited to work here. So just happy to report that. The other thing I wanted to report is that August is National Black Business Month, which is something you'll be seeing an article in King County Connects in the next couple of days. But it's through the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, the Office of Minority Economic Empowerment. I'll make sure I get that right. And what they'll be doing is hosting specific seminars for Black business owners. And you may be well aware that Google Maps is putting a special stamp next to Black-owned businesses when you search. They have been talking about it in the last couple of weeks. I don't know if it's rolled out completely nationally, but it's something they're doing to help highlight Black-owned businesses. But the types of events that they'll be holding through webinars are doing business with government, Black business lending and access to capital and tax incentives, and navigating both the COVID-19 and civil unrest in Black communities. Some other events that they're hosting through their partners are Black women in business, how to position yourself for government grants, again, access to capital, leveling up marketing and operations, strength in numbers, and a program that we supported a couple of years ago, which was ADME, which was advancing the development of minority entrepreneurs. We did a grant program in 2017 where we were supporting Black minority-owned businesses by offering a small grant assistance for their closing costs on loans. And then one more is a vision for your brand. These webinars are open to everyone, but they do target specific programs for specific groups. So there may not be information for everyone, but they're open so everyone can listen and learn. I know that some of the board members are having email issues, so I'll resend this to make sure everyone has a copy, but you can also keep an eye out for King County Connects. We're just, again, proud to promote these opportunities and learning for our business owners in King County.
Good. In regards to the unemployment numbers that you were stating before,
yeah,
does it? Do you have any details as far as like certain sectors that are, maybe one sector is at 6%, another one is at 18, in our county, and then that kind of gives us a blended average of 13, whatever?
I wish I did. The local numbers lag about 3 months behind the national numbers for specific industries. So I can always go back and check, but right now we're still at pandemic levels. But as soon as that information has, I can update the committee with that, because I'd love to share an industry specific unemployment numbers.
Yeah, because I'd be interested to see, maybe manufacturing is at, 6%, but the service sector is at, 18%. It kind of
Mhm.
gives a different snapshot when you're saying that people are obviously interested in coming out to Kane County for manufacturing and businesses.
Mhm.
Obviously there's a draw out here, whether it's because, our taxing is different than other counties, or they feel like it's a safer, more productive environment for employees and manufacturing and stuff like that. So that's
Sure.
why I was curious.
Sure. Anecdotally, I can say that I've heard, similar things to that. It's the lifestyle, but our numbers have trended and are matching both the Illinois national average. So just anecdotally, I can say that we're aligning up with what most people would expect in terms of our industry sectors, but I don't have specific numbers.
Great. Anyone have any questions for economic development? Anyone online? Any questions? No? We have no need for new business. We have no new business this week. Public comment. Do we have any public speakers
Mr.
today?
Chairman?
Oh, yes. Go ahead, Mr. Shufflo.
Yeah, Doug Shefflow. It's not really public comment. Took me a second to get on here. It could be new business. We have Scott Berger reporting to us and Mark Van Kerkhoff. It just occurred to me that maybe the Jobs Committee would be a better committee to handle the $8 million business grants under the COVID, the CAC money. And that's my comment. I don't know if we should pursue that in some form. We're focused on jobs. We have the grant people here, and development, I think, is a different area. Not really necessarily as well suited to a bit managing grants, managing business grants and that type of thing. So, it's not on the agenda, but it might be something to consider. That's all.
Chris, would you want to talk about that at all? Or Mark?
I'll just comment that both Scott Berger and I also report to the Development Department, so we will leave it up to the county board members to decide the venue, but we're both present at both meetings, so.
Okay, I wasn't aware
Our
of that.
coordination would be the same either way, but we're happy to do whatever the county board pleases.
Is that
Thank
okay,
you.
Doug?
Yep, thanks.
All right, thank you. Can I have a motion and a second to place the reports on file?
Molina moves.
Thank you, Molina. And a second?
Iqbal seconds.
Iqbal seconds. Can I please have a roll call on placing the reports on file?
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Shefflow,
Shefflow, yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Wegman,
Yes.
Igbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Yes. Thank you. Reports are placed on file. I would like a motion and a second to go into executive session. Can I please have a motion?
So moved. Iqbal moves.
Iqbal moves. Can I have a second?
Shefflow seconds.
Shefflow seconds.
For what purpose, Mr. Chair?
The purpose is to just get an explanation in regards to Mr. Berger having an employee work out of state. It's not we have no policy in place for out of state employees, but I think it's okay for Mr. Berger to explain why he allowed it and he did not run it through or discuss it with co-chairs. I think it's a valid point.
So personnel
Would you-
matters.
So would you say personal matters then? You just need to state the subject, not the reason.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I have a roll call to go into executive session, please?
Molina,
Molina, no, unnecessary.
Shefflow,
Yes. Shefflow, yes.
Thomas,
No.
Wegman,
No.
Igbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Weber,
Weber, yes.
3-3.
Can't go into executive session, right? If it's a tie, there's no tiebreaker. It's,
As ex officio member of this committee, do I have the authority to vote? It is interesting that if we don't discuss it here and now, where would we and when would we discuss something like this? So,
Human Services?
well, Human Services is going to talk about it in general, but so the Mr.
I
Shefflow?
think the chairman's correct. I unrelated to this, I looked at those at the county ordinances and because I was asked whether ex officio vote or don't vote. And I think our ordinance says that they can act as a tiebreaker.
Okay, then I vote yes.
So we will go into executive session then.
Now a roll call.
Now, yes.
Hello. Is there anyone in IT on that can add me to the executive session? This is Sanchez.
Good morning. This is Scott Berger. I don't hear anything going on. Is the session open to those joining remotely?
Well, my understanding is typically now with the Zoom format, we're creating breakout rooms for executive session, and then Roger selects the participants to be allowed into that breakout room. If you're not in there, then nothing's happening. So
I'm not. You're the only one I can hear, Mr. Sanchez.
okay.
That said, I mean, do you have any questions of me that I can answer? I realize that my office has become a point of
Scott?
control. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott. We're going to go into a breakout session. Scott, could you give me the phone number you used to call in?
Executive session.
My phone number, I'm on 401-6602 right now.
40.
And please add Sanchez as
Okay.
well.
Could you repeat that, please?
My phone number is 630-401-6602. And that's the line I'm on right now.
We're going to rebuild that breakout room real quick.
And then Jarett as well.
Yes.
Sanchez.
We'll add that. See, you can go.
Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Alrighty, we are now back in session. Can I please have a roll call again?
Molina,
Molina here.
Shefflo,
Russell here.
Thomas,
Here.
Wegman, Igbo,
Weber, yes. Anyone else popping up?
Ferrero is here.
Arrow?
thank you.
I was trying to get in during executive session and I
Okay.
was not let in. I'd like
That's
to know
okay.
why.
We tried to let you in twice. There must have been some kind of technical difficulties, but sorry about that, Teresa. Wasn't my fault, I promise you.
Well, I'm concerned about the discussion and I
But that,
really
we can't
wanted to
talk
be-
about that anymore, Teresa. We're now out of executive session. Can I please have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
There should be an audio recording of that executive, so Guerrero could listen to that, but I moved to adjourn.
Can I please have a second? Shefflin moves to-
I'll second.
Is that Molina?
Wegman.
Ms. Wegman seconds. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Wow.
Changes and programs